To be perfectly honest, it's going great, but it could have gone a lot better. Hi YouTube friends, welcome back to the channel. Recently we talked about 3 problems that all had one solution. Problem number 1 was the pasture I'm standing on was a little bit overgrazed, and as we can see with our little friend here, it's very lush and very green right now. It's bouncing back. In fact, it might actually have to get mowed before the hogs come back. We have a few clover making blossoms, and we love that. Clover is really good forage. That solution is working very well. So let's do a little update on where we are. So, good pasture. Vicky, I hope, is getting thinner. She's not getting feed. And the hogs are doing a pretty good job of munching down the grass out in the paddock system. And we're going to talk a little bit about how that went and how we can make it better. So, problem number 1 with how things went is that just outside their pen here, in the path that they take on their way to the paddock system, you can see they've made this area here their latrine. So this part is not doing very well at all. Another challenge we're facing is that their impact has been uneven. Because they have such a long way to walk, and because they have continuous access to the paddocks that they vacate, well, they're not vacating paddocks. Their impact is highly concentrated. You can see here on the way that we can already see a little bit of bare soil, and if you look back at that last video, there was no bare soil here, just delicious grass. And you can see the phenomenon that I mentioned previously, that the things they don't like have a tendency to stay. Why? Because they don't have to eat it, but they will if they need to go through it to get the stuff that they like that clover right there. You can see they've eaten the center right out of this grass in order to get to the clover. The hogs have a tendency to do just as they did on that pasture, and that's eat the good stuff and leave the undesirable stuff because they have too much to choose from. We're going to solve that problem by closing off the paddocks that they've already grazed. I want to keep them moving so that nothing goes to seed and it keeps growing so they can keep eating it. In this video, you're going to see me solve these problems by putting up the same fence system that we use during the grow out for the meat hogs. And that means that they're going to be restricted to 1 paddock at a time. They'll have free access to a shelter, the one in the background there with the white roof. That's their new home for now, until the piglets get here. The goal is to make these hogs prepare a beautiful pasture for when the piglets get here. The idea is this: they have water in that barrel, a couple of nipples, straw, and a nice shelter. It's roomy enough for many pigs, many more than the 3 that we're putting in here. And this will be the center of their world. They will radiate out from here. This area directly around the shelter, over to where this fence is. Let me just walk you over because it's probably difficult to see. The light's a little harsh this time of day. You can see the yellow wire here. It stretches across to that fence there. So that's where it's picking up the heat. If it comes in contact with any of these wires along the way, which at times it will also get heat from there. So this goes all the way around, and what's happening is it's blocking access to the entire north side of the pasture. 4 paddocks are inaccessible completely, and this one, and the next one, and the next one, because there's this wire running through here from post to post all the way down. Currently, since their home base was that shelter over there, they have access to this entire lane all the way back to the gate and around to their shelter. That's what we're cutting off. The way the system works is that I have 2 fences with reels facing each other. So it's essentially, with each move, one wire gets longer, one wire gets shorter, and we move the boundary fence that blocks off the lane to the previous paddocks. We remove the wire, or move the wire that had blocked off access to previous paddocks. So the fun part right now is getting the hogs all in one spot. Hopefully you can see this. Now, I'm trying to keep tension on this because it goes around that corner, keeps going. Before, I just laid the whole thing on the ground because it was hot on both ends. This is not hot. This is not hot at all. Okay, so the wire that used to be here is now there. It's gone in between. So when they get done eating, they're going to figure this whole thing out. They're going to be looking for some shade, but they can't go back. Looks like Albert is discovering that right now. He's so easily distracted by yummy grass, but what I almost completely missed in that shot was him standing there looking at that wire, wondering why? So they haven't had access to this part of the lane for a while, so we've had some regrowth, and they're going to wipe it out. It's going to be short like this. And over time, it may be bare dirt. I have seed for warm season. I'll just have to watch the grass and decide what it is I'm going to plant and when. My hope is that there is still some seed that didn't germinate from last year. And there seems to be plenty of natural things growing here. But you just have to see what happens. Because I think as they expose the soil by munching down on this ryegrass, which will not survive all summer, it's a cool season grass, I think we'll see more things germinating. And the idea behind this whole system is that we continuously graze and regenerate. We want to have as little bare soil as possible. One thing that the North Carolina Piedmont is very good at is grass. This is a great place to raise ruminants or anything that can live off of grass. If you like this kind of stuff and you want to see how delicious pork, succulent pork, is raised on grass in a regenerative fashion, stick around, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because I'm just a little channel and YouTube doesn't serve me up all over the place. But I'm really glad you're here, and I really am grateful that you decided to spend some time with me today. Makes me nervous every time that fence pops when I hook it up. I can relate to why the pigs don't like the electric fence. So anyway, thank you so much for stopping by today and spending some time with me and watching me pamper my pigs. We've got a lot of things going on around here. Next video, I promise, I've been hinting and hinting and hinting about the pastured poultry system that we have. We've got chicks on the way. So I have a really fancy schmancy chicken tractor that I want to tell you about. So if you like pasture raised chicken as well as succulent, delicious pasture raised pork, stick around. I'll show you everything that I'm doing. I think everybody should be doing this. And if you have the capability to do something, even if it's just a few chickens for eggs, I really believe that you should. Thanks again. See you next time. Bye-bye.